Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand. Here's my favorite Valentine's Day recipes. I've made this into a 28-minute show, so you can just have it on in the house as you go about and plan your Valentine's Day, or maybe fill out your cards. I love cooking, and I'm so happy you're watching this and that you subscribe to my channel and are fans of mine. It really means a lot to me. Enjoy the show. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're going to make a red velvet Valentine cake. We're going to have flour, unsweetened cocoa powder, baking soda, baking powder, salt, sugar, butter, eggs, vanilla extract, buttermilk, red food coloring, white vinegar. So I'm preheating the oven. It's at 350 degrees. And let's start with our wet ingredients. So I'm going to put my butter in a mixer. This has been softened, so it's room temperature or a little more. That's 1 stick of butter and now 1.5 cups of regular granulated sugar. And now we're going to mix that up. I'm using a mixer today, but feel free to use a bowl and a spoon. Now let's add our 2 eggs. Just for variety, we're using 2 colors of eggs today. Let's mix that up too. We need 1 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of distilled white vinegar, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. I want to add our red food coloring now. I'm adding 2 tablespoons today, but you could add more if you want a deeper red. Now check this out. This is going to be pretty as it blends. That looks pretty red to me. This is a messy recipe. There's a lot of casualties. It's like a crime scene. Time to put together our dry ingredients. We have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. If you sift it, you have a more smooth texture in your cake. To that, we add 1 tablespoon of unsweetened cocoa, 1 teaspoon of baking powder goes in, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda goes in. Let's mix that up, and we'll turn that on. After about 1 minute, let's push down the sides of what's sticking to that bowl. Maybe another 30 seconds, and that's going to be it. Good, done. So let's get our pans ready. So I pour some corn oil in there, and I get a paper towel, and I wad it up, and then I just, mix up oil all around the pan. Okay, and now we add about a tablespoon of flour. We just, toss it around the pan so all the sides are covered. And what this does is it makes like an invisible film that helps our cake pop out of that pan. Time to fill our pans. Now, this is what the batter looks like. I'm happy I stopped at 2 tablespoons, let me tell you. That looks pretty red to me. That buttermilk is going to make this extra creamy. It's a really great recipe. These are going to go into the oven for 28 minutes until they spring back when you touch the top. It's been preheated, 350, and space them out evenly in your oven. Yay! Your cakes have to bake between 28 and 33 minutes, so check at 28 just to make sure. Now we're going to make our frosting. So the ingredients for the frosting are powdered sugar, which is also confectioner's sugar, vanilla extract, butter, cream cheese, and for our decorating, I'm going to use red food coloring and granulated sugar. I'm going to sift the frosting, which I usually don't do. And if you don't like doing this, you may skip these steps about the sifting. It's not going to kill the cake. It'll make it smoother if you sift it. That's all. So we're doing 3 cups of powdered sugar. Done. Messy. I've softened the butter. So that's going to go in my mixing bowl with a whisk to make that frosting nice and fluffy. And here's my softened 8 ounces, 1 cup of cream cheese, regular, don't go diet on me. Diet's not good in this recipe. To that, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or a little more. I'm going to mix this hard because I want it light and fluffy, so I'm putting that on high. I'm adding a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar at a time for a total of 3 cups, which is 1 pound. And you're going to scrape down the sides too. Let's get it all in there and all incorporated. Let's give it one more mix. Now check this out. Look at that consistency. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's delicious. Now you know what? Now you can stop here and you can have a little white cake, but I'm making this cake for Valentine's Day, so I'm going to crank it up a notch, and I'm going to put some red food coloring in it and make it pink. Now I think a guy is really gonna like this. Okay, so we're gonna add a little bit at a time to get a nice little pink color. Not too dark, I don't want it red, I want it pink. Now I have another trick. So I put about a half a teaspoon of this red food coloring into the sugar. I'm gonna stir it up because I wanna make red sugar sprinkles to go on this cake. My next trick is to take a piece of paper. Now you did this when you were in kindergarten, I bet, and we're gonna cut a heart out of it. And this is gonna be my little decoration on top of my cake. Heart, okay, I'm happy. It's been 33 minutes, let's check it out. It's bouncing back. The edges have a little bit of air in them, and that's how you tell. Toothpick test is clean. Out it comes. We need to let these cool before we frost them. They need to cool completely because that cream cheese and that butter will make a big mess on your cakes. Our cakes have cooled now. It's been a couple hours. It's time to frost them. So I'm taking them out of the pan by running a knife on the edges. I want this whole heart to come out of there easily. Tap it, tap it. Aha, it worked. So with my hands, I'm gonna place it on my little doily. So we're gonna frost the first layer. Okay, the top layer has to go on. So again, make sure you get the sides well loosened. Okay, here we go, it's on top. So when I frost the top layer, I always put a lot on top first because I don't wanna run out by doing the sides. Take a little bit at a time and just go around. I think I'm gonna lick the bowl. We're frosting the top. And I like a lot of frosting on my cake. I'm gonna show you the little trick with that sugar that's gonna turn this into a Valentine's cake. Here is our stencil. I'm just putting it on there like that. Now just press that sugar through a strainer or sprinkle it like this. Either way is fine. Okay, careful lifting off your piece of paper. Voila. To get the edges really sharp with your sugar, take a knife and just draw. Push in the sugar that got out of the stencil. Isn't that cute? There's our happy Valentine's Day cake. Let's try it. Unfortunately, it's time to break my heart. I want to show you what that inside looks like. Right down the center. Chop! Let's get a bite of this. Oh, man. Oh, that is so velvety. It is truly a red velvet cake. The color is beautiful. So subscribe to my channel and let's keep cooking. Make this for your sweetie pie on Valentine's Day. Cheers. Here's to love. Valentine's Strawberry Pie. What we need for this recipe is cream cheese, eggs, flour, sour cream, granulated white sugar, vanilla extract, strawberries, lemon, a pie crust. I'm going to just use the kind I get at the grocery store today, and then some homemade whipped cream, or the bottle kind, whatever you have handy is just fine. Let's get started. You're gonna need your cream cheese at room temperature. So I have 4 ounces of cream cheese, and do not use the diet kind, it just is not the same. So this is gonna be the base of my pie. It's gonna be like a cheesecake on the bottom. So break up your cream cheese in a bowl, add 1/4 cup of sour cream, add 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, plain old white sugar, add 2 eggs. Now I take a chance when I crack them. I don't see any shells. 1 out of 30 I'll get a shell in, so I go with the odds. Add 1 tablespoon of regular flour, add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then add 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest. And that lemon zest is only the yellow part. When you get to the white, go to a different part of your lemon because that white is very bitter and it's gonna ruin your recipe. That's about enough. I'm gonna save this for the next part of my recipe. So mix all that up together. I'm doing it by hand today because it's just so easy and so fast. If you have a little hand mixer or the big old mixers, that's great too. But today I'm saving the cleanup on that. Now we're gonna put our pie crust in our pie plate. This is a shallow pie tin I'm using today because there's not a lot of the filling in this recipe. It's all about the strawberries. You can also make your homemade pie crust, but I have given up doing that a long time ago because I think these kind are fabulous. Now this has been sitting on my counter at room temperature for about 15 minutes because if you don't, you're gonna have an issue. It's gonna break. And don't ever stick these in your microwave to get them to room temperature. The kitty cat's coming to join us today. Meow, meow, meow. You're not going to help me cook anymore? That cat's tired of me already. I put my pie crust in, and let me show you how you crimp the edges. You take your thumb and you wedge it like this. And then your other two fingers are your tweezers here. So thumb, tweezers, thumb, tweezers. How easy is that? And I never mind about my imperfections. Everybody's going to know it's homemade with all the mistakes I make. If you make this at home, would you please send me a picture and post it on my Facebook Rebecca Brand Recipes page? I just love those pictures and I love having conversations with you. So comment on my channel too. There, I'm happy with that. Now let's pour our cheesecake mixture in the bottom of this. It doesn't take long to bake. And by the time this is finished baking, I'm ready with the topping. Cook your pie at 400 degrees. You want the crust brown, and then you'll know it's ready. Now we're gonna make our beautiful sauce. So for that, I'm gonna take about 6 or 8 strawberries, and I'm gonna look for the small ones because they're gonna get chopped up. I'm gonna save the big, beautiful ones for the top of my pie. So I just cut off the tops of them like this. I cut them down the half, and then again the other way. Kind of a cross-hatch system. It just seems faster that way when I cut them like this. Put your strawberries in a little pot. To that, we add 1/4 cup sugar, add 1/4 cup water, and again, you're gonna grate about 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest. So I'm finding those parts of the lemon that I haven't used yet. Isn't that pretty? Now we're gonna cook it. So turn it on high. So the object is to cook down the strawberries, and the pectin in the strawberries, it's what's gonna make it like a gelatin to hold your strawberries on top of that pie. And the color is just gonna be beautiful too. That's gonna cook about 10 minutes. You want it to a rapid boil, and then put it down onto a medium heat. Now I'm just gonna cut the tops of these strawberries off from my pie, and then just cut them in half one more time, from the point all the way down. They're standing up like little soldiers. When I cook, I have a good time, and I hope you do too. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is hysterical. I used 2 baskets of strawberries. I've sliced them in half, and now my little soldiers are all happy, and they're on the move. Our strawberry glaze is done. All those strawberries have cooked down to like nothing, which is great. Okay, oh, it's pretty. We got our golden brown crust, and it puffed up. It's ready. So we want to have this in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes to cool down before we put our strawberries on. Let's top it with our pretty strawberries. I'm going to put them in a pretty design. My crust kind of fell in. You know what? That happens. All these soldiers are going down for the count. I put them belly side down. And now I'm going to put our beautiful glaze on top. This pie is just the flavor of spring, and it's perfect for Valentine's Day. Okay, cannot forget the whipped cream, the crowning glory. Okay, I've saved 2 for the top. How pretty is that? Time to cut this glorious strawberry pie. I cannot wait for this piece. This is amazing. That cream cheese center, those fresh strawberries, and that glaze. Oh, that really spikes up the flavor. Wow, isn't that pretty? So subscribe to my channel and let's keep cooking together. Time for my bite. A bite of the cream cheese filling, the strawberries, and the topping. Let's go. That's awesome. I hope you make it at home. Let me know how yours turns out. Cheers, and happy Valentine's Day. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brandt, and today we're going to make classic strawberry shortcake. 'Tis the season. For this recipe, we need flour, baking powder, baking soda, granulated sugar, salt, whipping cream. I'm using heavy whipping cream today, strawberries, and a batch of whipped cream that I made up. You can find the recipe for the whipping cream on my channel. We start with 2 cups flour. Using a knife to scrape off that flour, make sure you have the perfect quantity into your bowl. We're going to add to that 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2. Now scrape it off the top. I love those little scraping things that come with it. And now we're going to go for a 1/4 teaspoon of our baking soda. This recipe is so much like a biscuit. So with a biscuit, it's like a science to get the right amount of powder and soda to give it the right lift. So there's our 1/4 teaspoon. And now we need 3/4 teaspoon of salt. So I'm taking my 1 teaspoon and I'm just eyeballing it for 3/4. That looks about right to me. With a whisk, I'm going to whisk it up because I want the baking soda, the baking powder, and the salt to be evenly distributed throughout my flour. And then 2 tablespoons of sugar. So I'm pouring to this 1½ cups of cream. This happens to be heavy whipping cream, but plain cream is fine too. It is going to be our oil and liquid all together in one package. This is such a classic shortcake recipe. So take our whisk and just mix that up. Just do 1 second with that whisk because it's going to harden up. You can finish it with your spatula, and what you get is like a big biscuit. When it gets to be like a dough ball, don't overmix, you're done. You want to keep that air in it. Here's an 8-inch square pound. I'm going to put a little oil on it. I mush it around with a paper towel, and then just put your dough ball in there. And I'm telling you, overmixing is a curse with this recipe. And then you're just going to mash it down to form the size of your pan. I use my fingers at this point. It makes the recipe more fun like that. So we spread it evenly because we want it to cook evenly. Wasn't that easy? Now, this goes into a 400-degree oven for 30 minutes. So while my shortcake is cooking, I'm going to cut up my strawberries. I'm cutting them in little pieces, and then I'm going to put some sugar in them because it's going to make them soft, and the sourness of the strawberry is going to disappear as that sugar infuses into the strawberry. And it makes a beautiful liquid as it draws out the moisture of the strawberries that's going to flow all over our strawberry shortcake cake. I'm using 2 baskets of strawberries because I love the berries on it. I'm not as big into the cake, you know, I guess to each his own, but I think the strawberries are really the star in this recipe. I hope you become my friend on my Rebecca Brandt Recipes Facebook, and I hope you send me pictures of the creations you make from my channel. That is so fun for me to see. So for 2 full baskets of strawberries, I'm going to use 4 tablespoons of sugar. If your strawberries are sweeter, because maybe they're a little more ripe than mine, you can decrease the amount of sugar, that's fine. But I like mine extra sweet, and the extra sugar will have it become more syrupy as well. There's 4, yum. So we're gonna stir the sugar into our strawberries and we're gonna leave it at room temperature until our shortcake's ready. That's great. It's been 20 minutes, the shortcake's ready. Nice. Ooh, look at that syrup on the bottom. You see that? That's great. That shortcake is hot, but I don't care. Out of the oven with the heat. It's fine with me because all that whipped cream is going to be drooling all over it. So you cut your cake in half. Now you put your strawberries in your juice on that bottom portion. Wow. And then you put the lid on. And let's do it again. Ooh, how pretty is that? Okay, and a little whipped cream. Ah. Oh man, yummy. These are my just desserts for working hard in this kitchen today. I cannot wait for this bite. Happy Valentine's Day. This is awesome. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and today we're going to make chocolate-covered strawberries just in time to give it to your sweetheart for Valentine's Day. So I've got really big strawberries because I think the big ones are just a little more luscious. So I'm going to dip them in semi-sweet chocolate morsels, and I also have this dark chocolate just for fun. And on the top of them, I'm going to put some white chocolate. So let's get started. So for my dark chocolate covered strawberries, I'm going to use a 60% cacao mix. For any of the chocolates that you're going to dip your strawberries in, you can use the bars too. You don't have to get the morsels. But you got to break it up because you got to melt it. So here I have my handy dandy rolling pin, and here we go. Watch this. This is the most fun I have in this recipe. All right, let's see the damage I've done. Since it's in its own little package, I didn't have to do much just to get it broken up inside. Oh yeah, there we go. I got action, Jackson. This bar was 4 ounces of chocolate, which is half a cup. And you know what? I think that's good for today. I don't even have to get into this one. That's good. We're going to melt these now, and I'm going to use a microwave today. So stick all 3 in your microwave. And then you're going to put 1 minute at the power level of 50%. Now this is how I push the buttons in mine. You got to check your own and start. For the old-fashioned way of melting your chocolate, just go to my Cake Pops recipe and I show you there. So for my dark chocolate, I'm mixing it real quick. My semi-sweets are next. Those did nothing. I can just tell they're a little warm. And once again, another minute at 50% power. We have action on the dark chocolate and looking good on the white. I've worked with both kinds of white chocolates, the candy dips and these kind, and the chips do not melt as nice. They melt a little yellow anyways, and it's just too stiff for me to work with. So if you can find these, use these. It's been 3 more times and I think they're done now. Okay, the semi-sweet and the dark and El Blanco. Mix it up one more time. Here's my dark, looking really nice and really thin. That's going to be great for the dippy-doo portion. And my semi-sweet. Okay, let's dip them now. So I take the fatties and I just put it in that chocolate and twist. And pull it up, drain it, and lay them on a plate that's covered with parchment paper. Let's keep going. Now let's say you had a little hole because you had a big fingerprint in there. Let's fill the hole. And it's as simple as that. Why not? Now let's do some decorating with the white chocolate. So you take a fork and you're going to drizzle back and forth. This is the artistic part. It's my art project today. Put this into the fridge because it has to sit up. It might take 30 minutes. There we go. Voila. So they were in the fridge for 30 minutes and now it's time to eat one. I'm gonna grab this one. So subscribe to my channel and you know what? Share me. And if you make these, put it on a picture on my Rebecca Brand Recipes Facebook page because I'd love to see your creations out of your kitchen. Okay, here we go. It's completely delicious. I can make a lunch out of this. So happy Valentine's Day and let's keep cooking. Thanks for watching the show. Comment and let me know what Valentine's recipes I should make for next year.